Hey guys, I always get asked, who's my favorite band? And that's a hard question for me to answer because I listen to so many different bands. So today I will be listing off some of the bands I listen to. Alright, I'm going to get right into it because this list is long. The first band I listen to is Cannibal Corpse. That sounds a little scary, I know, but it is a death metal band, and when you get into death metal and heavy metal, the band name and the title of their songs can sound a little scary. If you've ever listened to death metal or heavy metal, you know what I'm talking about. My favorite album by Cannibal Corpse is Skeletal Domain. One of my favorite songs is called Sadistic Embodiment. The next band is Metallica. My favorite song by Metallica is Enter Sandman. And I also like Master of the Puppets and Wherever I May Roam. The next band is Vampires Everywhere, A Day to Remember, and Saliva and Beartooth. The next band is Avenged Sevenfold. One of my favorite songs by them is Nightmare. It kind of reminds me of Enter Sandman by Metallica. New Year's Day, Hatebreed. I discovered Hatebreed from the song Looking Down at the Barrel of Today. That's one of my favorite songs by Hatebreed. Paris is another one of my favorite bands. Breaking Benjamin and Broken Side. Sleeping with Sirens. A couple of my favorite songs by them is Kick Me, Better Off Dead. Another one of my favorite bands is Yellow Card. Linkin Park. My favorite album by them is Hybrid Theory. I also listen to a band called The Kills and The Killers. System of a Down is another one of my favorite bands. My favorite songs by them is Chop Suey, Radio, and Toxicity. Whitechapel. Marilyn Manson. I have every album by Marilyn Manson. Icon for Hire. Memphis Mayfire is another one. Imagine Dragons, Of Mice and Men. In This Moment. My favorite albums by In This Moment is Black Widow and Blood. Evanescence is another one of my favorite bands. I discovered them when I was in middle school. Hawthorne Heights. The next band is Upon a Burning Body. My favorite albums by them is The World Is My Enemy and Red, White, and Green. Motionless in White is another one of my favorite bands. I absolutely love their new album, Graveyard Shift. My favorite songs on there is Necessary Evil, Untouchable, Not My Type, Voices, and Loud, and Hourglass. Another favorite album by them is Reincarnate and Infamous. 3 Days Grace is another band that I have every single album by. When I usually like a band, I usually have every single song ever made by them. That's why I have to have a 64 gigabyte phone because I have around 7,000 songs downloaded on here. Next band is 9 Inch Nails. I also like classic rock like AC/DC, Aerosmith. I also like stuff like Guns N' Roses. Melanie Martinez is one of my favorite singers. Her album Crybaby is amazing. I love every single song on that album. I can't wait until her next album comes out. My favorite songs on that album is Alphabet Boy, Crybaby, and Soap, and Training Wheels, and Mad Hatter. The next band, and this is another band I have every single song downloaded, Bullet for My Valentine, Flyleaf, I like The Antwoord. Their music kind of sounds weird but in a good way. Under Oath, 21 Pilots. My favorite songs by them is Car Radio, Trees, Heathens, Hailstorm, Halsey. My favorite album by Halsey is Badlands, Mariana's Trench, Falling in Reverse. I have every single album by them. My favorite album is The Drug in Me Is You and Fashionably Late. 303 has been one of my favorite bands since high school. Now, I'm not a fan of their newer music. I have bought their new albums. It's okay. I like a couple songs. I'm more of a fan of their Want album and their Streets of Gold album and their very first album. Next band is Suicide Silence and the All American Rejects. Drowning Pool is another one of my favorite bands. The first song I discovered by Drowning Pool was Bodies. Iron Maiden. Black Veil Brides is another one. I have every album by them. My favorite songs by them is Knives and Pens, Perfect Weapon, Heart of Fire, and Falling Angels. I also like Andy's solo album called The Shadow Side. He goes by the name Andy Black. My favorite songs on there are Ribcage, We Don't Have to Dance, Next band is Escape Fate, and that's another band I have every single album by. My favorite songs are Situations, One for the Money, Not Good Enough for the Truth, and Cliche. Hollywood Undead. My favorite album is Swan Songs, and my favorite songs by them is Everywhere I Go and Undead. Paramore, I'm more of a fan of Paramore's older music, like the Riot album. My favorite songs from that album is Crush Crush, Ignorance, and Brick by Boring Brick, and Misery Business. All Time Low is another one of my favorite bands. I like their latest song called Dirty Laundry. That's pretty good. Blink-182 is another band I have every single album by. KG Elephant. Bring Me the Horizon is another one of my favorite bands. I have every single album by them. My favorite songs by them is Truth Friends, Throne, Follow You, Happy Song, Avalanche, Can You Feel My Heart, The House of Wolves, Empire, and The Snakes Start to Sing, Hospital for Souls, and Chasing Rainbows, and Alligator Blood. I can just keep going on with that list, but that would take forever. Pierce the Veil, Limp Bizkit. My favorite songs by Limp Bizkit is Rolling, Take a Look Around, Behind Blue Eyes, Break Stuff, Gold Cobra, Shark Attack, Loser, Walking Away, and My Generation. My favorite songs by My Chemical Romance is Last Words and Teenagers and The End and Sharpest Lives. Another one of my favorite bands is The Offspring. Owl City. Green Day is my favorite band and will always be my favorite band. I discovered Green Day when I was in 6th grade from the song Boulevard of Broken Dreams. That song means a lot to me. The Clash. You guys probably haven't ever heard of The Clash, but you probably have heard a song by them if you've watched Stranger Things. So a song called Should I Stay or Should I Go is on Stranger Things, and that is by The Clash. Rob Zombie is another one of my favorites. I have his music from when he was in White Zombie. So Rob Zombie's younger brother is the lead singer of Power Man 5000. I also listen to that band. My favorite song by Rob Zombie is Living Dead Girl. The Used. My favorite songs by The Used is The Taste of Ink, The Bird and the Worm, and Pretty Handsome Awkward. The next is Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy was another one of my favorite bands, especially when I was in 6th grade. I remember buying the album Infinity on High for the song Thanks for the Memories. I love that song. I still love that song today. It's one of my favorite songs by Fall Out Boy. Centuries and American Beauty. Panic at the Disco. I discovered Panic at the Disco because of the song I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. That's my favorite song by them. I also like This Is Gospel, Empire's New Clothes, Bow to Mona Lisa, Sarah Smiles, and Nicotine. Taking Back Sunday. My favorite song by Taking Back Sunday is Make Damn Sure. Theory of a Dead Man. I have every album by them. Snow White's Poison Bite. I discovered them by listening to Ghost Town. This was when I used to listen to Pandora before I discovered Spotify. Pandora suggested a song called Down in the Morgue by Snow White's Poison Bite, and then I ended up listening to every song by Snow White's Poison Bite. Pantera. My favorite songs by Pantera is Walk, Cowboys from Hell, and Cemetery Gates. The Pretty Reckless is another one of my faves. Slayer. My favorite song by Slayer is You Against You. Megadeth. My favorite song is Fatal Illusion and Dystopia. So the next band is Seether. So my favorite songs by Seether is Fake It, Remedy, Same Damn Life, Keep the Dogs at Bay. Lamb of God, and Korn. My favorite songs by Korn is Freak on a Leash, Coming Undone, Falling Away From Me, Got the Life, Never Never, and Get Up. Rage Against the Machine. My favorite album by them is Renegades. Next is Hey Violet. I discovered them from the song Guys My Age. Godsmack. Slipknot. My favorite songs by Slipknot is Psychosocial, Devil and I, Before I Forget, Wait and Bleed, The Negative One, Dead Memories, All Hope Is Gone. Deftones. My favorite songs by Deftones is Change, My Own Summer, and my favorite albums by them is Diamond Eyes and Around the Fur. Disturbed. My favorite songs by Disturbed is Stricken, Down with the Sickness, Voices, and Stupefy, The Game, and Meaning of Life. I also like the band called Device that was started by the frontman of Disturbed. The next is Knuckle Puck. So when I was in 5th grade, I discovered Avril Lavigne. She inspired me to make music. Five Finger Death Punch. My favorite songs by them is Jekyll and Hyde and Wrong Side of Heaven. Next is the 1975. I just recently started getting into the 1975 AFI. My favorite song by AFI is Miss Murder. Asking Alexandria, I have every single song by them. My favorite songs by them is I Won't Give In, Moment of Sincerity, Reckless and Relentless. The next is Bowling for Soup, Attila, Mudvayne, Nirvana. I also listen to Hole, I Prevail, The Smashing Pumpkins, 30 Seconds to Mars, Senses Fails. My favorite song by Senses Fail is Calling All Cars and Buried Alive. Papa Roach, I started listening to Papa Roach when I was a freshman in high school when I discovered The Last Resort, and that's another band I prefer their older music, not really their newer music. Ramones, Rancid, NOFX, Murder Dolls, Misfits, Sum 41. My favorite song by Sum 41 is Still Waiting, Pieces, Plus 44, Rise Against. I also like Sisters of Mercy, Finger 11. She Wants Revenge is another one of my favorite bands. I discovered them from watching American Horror Story Hotel when I heard the song Tear You Apart. Blue October, Sworn In. So my favorite songs by Sworn In is I Don't Really Like You, Sugar Lips, and Sunshine. Typo Negative, Mindless Self-Indulgence. My favorite song is Straight to Video. I also like My Darkest Days. Alright guys, my list of bands is so long that my camera is about to die. So I'm gonna have to end it here. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell at the top of my page so you don't miss a new video. Leave a comment down below. What is some of your favorite bands? I like to listen to new music, so if you have any song suggestions, let me know.